right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rachaha Kodash. I want to give double honors to that apostle. Now this great millstone, rule well and teach well. Peace and blessing to you, sincere Akim, that are pushing this truth all over the four corners of the earth, week in and week out, in all truth and sincerity. And this is breaking news, breaking news. Russia sends a message. This video clip I'm about to play is from Canadian Prepper YouTube channel titled Breaking Russia's Next Move, U.S. Preparing for Limited Nuclear War. So without further ado, let's play this video.
If you didn't watch my last two videos, I would encourage you to do so you have a little bit of context to know what I'm going to talk about today. As many of you know, 90% of you, I presume, you already know that the Russians used for the first time ever in combat history an intermediate range ballistic missile. We initially thought it was an intercontinental ballistic missile, tomato. This is in fact worse. This is an intermediate range ballistic missile, and these were actually banned up until 2019 when the Trump administration, or the United States, let's just call it the United States because I don't want to get anybody's panties in a twist about politics. This is beyond politics, and this is why Trump hasn't said anything yet. We'll talk a bit more about that in a minute. But the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, they got rid of these because the reasoning is that the time it takes for one of these to travel to another European center is too small to be able to possibly de-escalate the situation via negotiations. Okay, so at least with an ICBM, it gives you a little bit of time. You got to do a few more things, and it takes around 30 minutes to get to the other side of the planet. Whereas these intermediate range missiles, they're so fast and they reach their target in less than 10 minutes that it makes the possibility for negotiation. So it was seen as de-escalatory through the non-proliferation age to try to get rid of these. That's one step. That's something that both countries agreed on. Trump backed out of the deal because both sides accused each other of violating. Today, Russia has really explicitly violated that. This is actually worse than an intercontinental ballistic missile that we talked about today for the aforementioned reasons. Now, what does this demonstrate? This alien-like technology that looks like they're teleporting aliens down to Earth. This is important because, of course, it's a demonstration, and it's a proven demonstration of Russia's multiple independent reentry vehicle technology. This is not particularly new, per se. This is on their Sarmat missile systems. The United States have the same technology, albeit some people say that the Russians is more advanced, but, I guess that's yet to be seen. We've never seen it used in combat before, and this is essentially what's happening here is you have 6 of these containers that comes out of the main missile, and these 6 containers all contain these multiple independent reentry vehicles. They can be specifically targeted. Fortunately, in this case, they were inert, which is why you don't see any explosions, so they're just relying on kinetic energy when they hit the ground, okay? So you don't see any explosions. It's just lightning fast, 3 kilometers per second. Completely impossible to be able to intercept these with anything that we currently have. Even if you were able to master some kind of projected...
You heard what he said? He said it's completely impossible to intercept, these missiles that break off into capsules, which break off into smaller capsules. And these smaller capsules can be programmed to go to different destinations. And when they enter, the Earth's atmosphere, so to speak, they're not using any type of propulsion system. And these missiles that were dropped by Russia, they didn't have any warheads attached to them. Basically, Russia was demonstrating its technology, its power, its force and capabilities, and ultimately sending a message. Let's keep going.
Energy weapon, I don't think that you'd be able to stop something like that, especially if it's just relying on sheer kinetic force.
See, it's just relying on sheer kinetic force, so there's no type of propulsion, so it makes it that much harder to intercept, to use, heat guidance and various different technology, thermal and, the technologies they use and these different branches of military to intercept missiles, incoming missiles, by the propulsion that's coming from the missiles, the heat, and also the various other things that happen circling around these devices when they're using propulsion. So these things just basically fall out of the sky straight to its designation. And nuclear warheads can be attached to these things.
So this is it's really a rebranded RS-26, and we're going to talk about why that's important in just a moment. But understand this is a breach of the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, and this was clearly a message to Trump. So you can see it a bit more precisely here. You get better frame rates. You can actually see.
Yeah, he said precisely. Keyword precise. Okay. Let's go to Joel, the 2nd chapter. These things dropped out of the sky, broke off into another capsule, then broke off into multiple capsules, and multiple of these things were shot off. And they came down in 6s and 5s and 4s, straight to the mark, straight to the destination, like it says in Joel, the 2nd chapter, man. The rakes were broke. They didn't thrust one to another. They didn't bump into each other. One didn't go off course. These are very, very precise, and this was a demonstration by Russia of its precision. Let's go to Joel 2 and start in verse 4. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. And we just witnessed the running of these arrows. It says, like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap. Like the noise of a flame of fire, they devour that the stubble as a strong people set in battle array. Yeah, because these nukes, which the scriptures refer to them as arrows, they do great destruction that a multitude of armies could not do. It says, verse 6, before their face the people shall be much pained, all faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march everyone on his ways. They shall not break their ranks. And that was a demonstration of this, man. Okay? These warheads didn't thrust one to another. They weren't taken down. They weren't breached. There was no type of defense for these missiles. Even this guy said, hey, there's no defense for these things. And these intermediate ballistic missiles, I believe they're called, were supposed to be banned through different treaties. Okay? Because of the time, the small amount of time it takes to travel from one destination to another, limiting any type of interception. It says they shall, Joel 2 and 7 again, they shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. They shall march everyone on his way. That's going into the precision. And they shall not break their ranks. Verse 8, neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk everyone on his path. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. Okay? Let's keep playing this video.
The independent vehicles hitting, they used to call these rods from God, the tungsten weapon.
You heard what he said? He used to call these rods from God. Well, hey, these missiles that are gonna ultimately hit Babylon the Great in the millions upon millions. Hey, these are the Lord's missiles, man. These are the Lord's ICBMs, like the scripture says in Isaiah. I have created the smith and the waster to destroy. The Lord has put in the minds of these scientists to create these capabilities, these different technologies, these technologic advances, okay? And ultimately that nuclear warhead that brings forth that great destruction.
Kinetic energy weapon that had no radiation but was as destructive. But this is more like a nuclear buckshot than a nuclear slug. I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen in just a moment, so you're going to want to stick with me while I get through all of the minutiae here. Okay, so the important thing to take...
Look at them joints. Them joints just dropping straight out of the sky. No type of propulsion. They literally get propelled to a certain destination in the sky, and then they're just dropped out, and they use a little bit of propulsion, and then they just completely free fall to their destination. Let's read that again for Joel 2 and 8. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk everyone in his path. Slaki, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded.
Note of is that this happened in a major city of 1 million people, on the outskirts of a major city, nonetheless close enough that the
So this wasn't, they dropped these things not in just some old rural area. This was dropping a major city. He said a population of 1 million.
Russians were sending a message, not only that their technology works, okay, that they have this capability, and if these had nuclear weapons on them, holy shit, would that ever be catastrophic? We're talking in the megatonnage of potential nuclear detonations. But they've also demonstrated here the accuracy and the precision, because it was thought at one point that the Russians would only be able to use this technology, and maybe this is still the case with ICBMs, but there'd be a wide margin of error, possibly like hundreds of meters, if not meters, kilometers even. Okay, so maybe not with these intermediate range ones, but the fact that they could do this with such pinpoint precision in a major city.
He said pinpoint precision in a major city. And this was a demonstration of Russia's pinpoint precision with their missile systems, their guidance systems, their satellites, their technologies, all right, their propulsion, and ultimately the effectiveness and the accuracy. This was a demonstration of their accuracy.
Avoiding a major civilian catastrophe is a message that they're sending to NATO that, hey, we can hit wherever we want with pinpoint precision, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it, and we can do it in under 10 minutes.
He said, there's nothing you can do about it, and we can do it under 10 minutes, man. Let's continue on. Joel 2 and verse 9. They shall run to and fro in the city. Okay, this was a major city that these missiles, which were not armed or didn't have any type of warhead on it, were dropped. It says, they shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. You see these missiles dropping in, you know? There wasn't no you looked in the sky, oh, I see it coming. You see it from 5, 10, 20 miles away in the sky, because that's when missiles are propelled with propulsion, you see it coming from afar. You hear it, you hear the propulsion. These things come in quiet. You don't hear them. You don't see them until they break through those clouds. Okay? It says, they shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. Surprise attack. This is what you call this. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining.
Pretty much no matter where you look across the map. So these things have a range. I believe the actual range is more like 6,000 kilometers. So pretty much they can hit anywhere in Europe in a matter of a few minutes. And so exceptionally problematic. And I'm thinking that this is what the purpose of space.
A few minutes, man. Okay? And, you know, for Russia to fire an intercontinental ballistic missile to reach over here to the United States, it doesn't take much longer than that, man. Okay? They say 30 minutes, but realistically, I believe, you know, just my personal opinion from, you know, various different information and sources, you know, it's more like 20 to 25 minutes. Okay?
Sex truly is. It's to have it's the weaponized space, and to have a whole new kind of system where at any moment the actual
really, you know, to make the time lapse even sooner, all Russia would have to do is transport one of these missiles systems, so to speak, over to a closer location, man. They can go through Alaska. Alaska is a very good vantage point. Why do you think there's such a fight over the land of Alaska between the United States and Russia? You know, when you look at it geographically, that's a very close vantage point to the United States. So they could transport couple of these systems over to Alaska, and, you know, hit the United States in less than 10 minutes.
Time that it takes to put a nuke on target is down to possibly a sub-minute level, into the seconds. If you have nuclear weapons in space that could be immediately deployed, then
yeah, that's what they're trying to get to next. Is you know, put nukes in space that lay dormant until they need to shoot them off to make that precision and accuracy and time lapse even quicker and more precise. It's Jeremiah 50:9. For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon, an assembly of great nations from the north country. And they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence shall she be taken. The arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. And those arrows, those intercontinental ballistic missiles, man, or whatever you could call them, intermediate ballistic missiles as well. Whatever tag you want to tag onto that propulsion system, because that's all that the rest of the missile is a guidance and propulsion system to reach to carry that warhead to its target, right?
That's game over, right? And that's where we're heading. So
He said that's game over, and that's where we're heading. That's right. We're coming to we're headed into the time of game over for Esau Edom, game over for America. Let's get one more scripture. Matter of fact, let me play a little bit more of this, and I'm gonna close out on Isaiah the 9th chapter.
but I don't think we're gonna. I think we're going to see a nuclear event first. Now, let's talk about the background.
Yeah, we're gonna see a nuclear event because it's all part of prophecy, man. Okay, we're gonna see nukes fired in the millions over here to Babylon the Great, but also there's gonna be nukes fired to various other parts of the earth, man.
A little bit about what preceded this yesterday. Russian MP Volodin.
The time you see the missiles drop, you got a second, okay, before you realize something's even happening, man. It just breaks straight through the clouds and hit their mark.
Was the president of the State Duma. He said this explicitly, and everybody just thought, oh, he's just bluffing. He did not.
And it's the first time I've ever seen any demonstration like this of this type of technology where missiles can literally, hit without any type of propulsion. You basically just see them fall straight out of the clouds. Okay? This is Isaiah 9:5. For every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this, okay? And what is this talking about? It's talking about World War III. It says shall be with burning fuel of fire. That's going to come by the way of these missiles, these arrows, these warheads, okay? The weapons of the Lord's indignation. These aren't Esau's weapons. These aren't these other nations' weapons. These are the weapons of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, okay? I'll leave the link in the description box of this video. There's more to this video. I didn't play much of it. Good video to check out. Lord willing, this video was edifying. Till the next time, Shalom.